Hello, everyone. I'm Kathleen, and I'm here today with Larry Evans and Elaine Quagliata. Did I say that correctly?
Good.
Oh my goodness. Okay. How are you? How are you today, Elaine?
I'm doing great. How are you? How are you guys?
Good. Good. We're surviving.
Yeah, me too.
We're surviving. Thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited to have you. So tell us, when did you first get the acting bug?
Well, this answer may be one that a lot of women my age would give, but I think when I really got it strong was when I saw or when I heard the soundtrack to Annie, and specifically when I heard Andrea McCardle. I not only wanted to be in that show, but I wanted to be her. So I would practice singing the soundtrack, and I would practice singing like her.
Oh.
And I actually wanted to audition, and my mother, God bless her, really tried to encourage me. And we actually thought about me going down to audition, but I don't know if she was just humoring me. She said I was too tall by the time I wanted to audition, so I actually didn't audition, but I did see the show. I remember very well, even though I was pretty young. I remember like going with my grandmother where we were sitting. By the time I saw it, Sarah Jessica Parker was Annie, but it was still so exciting. But really for me, that was it. You know, I just was, and I still to this day love Andrea McCardle. I got to see her when she came to do it at North Carolina Theater and played Miss Hannigan. And they brought her out on stage and she sang Tomorrow with the played Annie, who I'm forgetting her name now. So that was it for me. I mean, I think that was like, to say like the big thing that had the biggest impact on me at the youngest age was that.
You could have auditioned and gotten the part, and then we'd be interviewing Jessica Parker asking how she likes doing RLT theater.
There you go.
What was the first show you were in?
I would say the first show, if you're saying like maybe college, like.
Yeah, the first one, like people said, paid to come see you in the show.
Okay. Well, if I go like college, because after that, I would say in college, the first show that I got cast was Macbeth. I played the gentlewoman. It was kind of fun. I did get to play one of the witches for a while. Unfortunately, she's a friend still of mine, Andrea, she had to have like surgery on one of her teeth. So I got to play a witch for a while, cover for her while that was happening, which I felt bad for her, but I had so much fun playing the witch, and then I had to give that up when she got back. But I did play the gentlewoman for real in the show, and it was neat because they redid the theater to look like the theater in those times. So the theater was reconstructed to look like the theater did in those times. But that was the first play I did, and that I went to school in State University of New York at Oneonta. That was where I went to college. So that was my first role that I would say college age that I did.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten good advice about acting from anyone?
Yeah, I thought about this. I had a friend, his name was Tom, and he was our age, maybe like he was my age, but he had gone to school at SUNY Purchase, did not finish for reasons that we won't talk about because I won't embarrass him and go into those, but he got some good training, and then he came and he went to school with us, and he was a lot about he called it not going ballistic, being really present. And when you feel like you're on stage and you're just kind of all over the place and you're not present with your partner, things you can do to adjust that. And he would do this exercise with us. And I don't think it's just acting, but I remember sometimes when we would do it, the effect of it was so incredible. He would say, we would be in a scene and he would say, if you ever feel like you are not focused on your partner, focused in the scene, you would literally stop where you were and you would say 5 things you see, 5 things you hear, 5 things you see, 5 things you hear, 5 things you feel. And then you would go down to 4, down to 3, down to 2, and down to 1. But you would really have to do it. You just stop and really do it, invest in it. And then you would go right back into the scene. Huh. And I had done that, we would do that. And sometimes when I would do that, the difference, it literally would like things would become literally crystal clear.
Wow.
And the feeling I would get would just be, I could not describe the difference between, it was like cloudy, crystal clear. So that was something that he would suggest that I would do, that we would do, because he would Oneonta would really, besides the besides the productions they did, they were a big proponent of student productions, and he was would direct us, and that was a big thing he would do with us in our productions and things like that. So just one thing that he taught us.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite theater or movie actor?
So I just feel like Allison Janney,
Yeah.
I just feel like she's amazing because she's everywhere. She does everything, but she does it so incredibly well. Like, I don't know if you saw I, Tonya.
Oh, I loved it.
I love the movie, and she was amazing. But then she goes and does like this show, Mom, this sitcom where she's great. And then I just saw Bombshell, and I thought, oh my God, there she is again. And then she's in The West Wing for, I think like that's the kind of career that I would want to have, because I guess you could call her a character actress. The perfect example, I guess, because she does so many things. She does them well. She has this amazing career. She finally won an Oscar, I think, for I, Tonya, which was beyond deserved. I mean, she was incredible in that. But and she is. I mean, there's so many other people. Sam Rockwell too, I was thinking of. On the actor side, I just discovered him, but I think he's, in the things that I've seen him in, he's amazing, and he's tackled some tough roles and done them amazingly well. So yeah.
She's in a new HBO movie with Hugh Jackman called Bad Education. It would have got a theatrical release, but with the virus, it came to HBO, and both of them would be nominated for Oscars, I think. Bad Education on HBO.
I didn't know. I saw that was HBO. I didn't realize it was supposed to be a theatrical release, so I thought it was supposed to be HBO. That's interesting.
They're both great.
Yeah. I love her, and I love him too.
Yeah. Elaine, what happened at your worst audition?
So I won't say, it is a local audition, so I won't say what it was. I do excuse me, I do go on musical auditions, and I don't always get cast, but I feel like they do go pretty well. But this one did not go very well, because it was, first of all, the dance audition was just so, and if you talk, if the other people that I spoke to felt the same way, it was just so advanced that my feet just could not keep up with what they were asking me to do. And then the vocal part of the audition, I had prepared a song, as you should, and I felt ready, but I am not a sight reader. I need to go through the notes and everything before. When I got there, I found out that they were going to also give us a song from the show, and we were going to go outside and prepare and then come back and sing that song. So all I can say is the notes that I sang, the notes that were on the page. So, needless to say, I did not get a call back. But I will say I made some friends. It was earlier on. I made some lovely friends who I still have today. And it was a very good show. And also it wasn't like I don't think it was closed, so other people got to hear the notes. So that was great.
We all have those days, so yes, we do.
Well, what is one of your favorite shows you've been in, and why?
So I actually, when I lived in New York, my friend that I told you about, just a quick background, he had directed my friends and I in Balm and Gilead. When, I don't know if you guys know that show, when we were in college. It's a very large cast. And then he came to New York and he decided to do it when we all lived in New York, some of us still from college and then others. And then he said, well, I would like to start a theater company with all of you. So my favorite show actually is when I was in that theater company, we did Midsummer Night's Dream. And it's my favorite show because it was during that time that we were in the theater company, we had huge audiences every night, to the point where the stage manager was saying to us, you literally have to step over people, because we had to seat people like on the side. And then also, you know, if you guys know the show, right, how it's kind of groups of, so I was a mechanical, I was snout, so I was the wall. And our group was just such a tight-knit group, and there was such a feeling of trust amongst all of us that we could just do anything and we would all catch each other. And we just were so, we just all made each other laugh. And then sometimes our director, who was my friend that I told you about, would just come back laughing, like beside himself with laughter. And we all just really gelled. And we literally had people telling us what fans they were of what we were doing. It just was just a great experience. And I think it was also a time in my life, I was just out of college, and we were like the resident company of this theater company called Hamlet on Bank Street. And I think that show was just such a success, and we just had such a great experience doing it. So
Written by Neil Simon, right?
exactly. Yes. My second favorite is Rumors.
Yeah, that's by Shakespeare, right?
Right.
Is there a role you've always wanted to play?
So it's more recent, but I just love the play so much and the character, but it's called Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. Yeah. I just really want to play Sonia so bad. Yeah. Someday. Yeah, it's just, I love Christopher Durang. I did get to be in one of his plays, The Marriage of Bet and Boo, when it was act. Some people, I feel like some people love him. Some people are like, oh my God, he scares me. Some people hate him. I love him, and he's scary at the same time.
Definitely.
But that is, and I love that character. I think she has such a great arc in that play. Mm-hmm. So that is a role I would love to play at some point, for sure. And I just think that play is brilliant.
Yeah. What type of actor do you like to be on stage with?
So I don't want to say this the wrong way, because you're a director, Kathleen. So I don't say it but I like to work with actors who are very present with each other, and who are very present and are not afraid if some little thing happens to kind of go with it and improvise a little bit. And I don't mean like changing blocking, but if there's a little moment between you and things change just a little bit, that you just kind of go, oh, we had a little moment, and kind of go there. Because I know some actors can be very rigid in how we did it this way and have to do it every night this way. So I like those actors who are a little bit free that way, and also very present and very giving, and are with you and just give you a lot of that. It doesn't have to be the same way every night. Every night you get something different, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It definitely does, because the director does what they do, but then it's in your hands, and there are so many outside forces that come just because it's live. So there's obviously going to be different things that happen, and I think that's wonderful.
I think, for an example, I mean, it's such a small thing, but there was a part in A Piece of My Heart where we're supposed to be singing Christmas carols, and I, as me, had trouble remembering the lyrics to one of the carols. And Laura Parker, who was one of the other actresses, she, as my character, I started to do this thing where I just would be like pretending to like do that thing when you try to remember the carol, and she caught me doing it and she joined me. Oh. And we made it like a little bit, and we expanded on it. That's the kind of thing I'm saying. Like where you take just a small thing you see someone else doing and you pick up on it and you join in, and then it becomes like a little bit that you do where you're not changing blocking or changing, doing anything major, but you just kind of, you are in tune with each other, and then you kind of add little things.
Well, you make it your own.
Right.
You know.
I like actors who like to give me a lot of notes. You know.
Yeah, when they try, yes.
The director's not giving you this note, but you really got to do the scene here.
Yes,
Because you're embarrassing yourself.
that's my favorite thing.
No.
We all have best moments on stage. Can you think of a best moment you've had on stage, or what makes a moment great?
I really like to interact with the audience. It's like my favorite thing, and I really feed off of it. So again, think of A Piece of My Heart or those kinds of shows. Like in The Piece of My Heart, I would do a monologue in the beginning, and my monologue was very much like to the audience. So I remember Mia told me and other actors, if as comfortable as you feel with like directly speaking to the audience, do it. So I really like that interaction with the audience and having that direct connection. I know some actors, because we talked about it, they're like, oh, I get really thrown when they look at me. Now, if it's someone I know, because I remember for one show, I think Gus Allen, he always likes to sit in the, like your friends like to sit right in the front. Mm-hmm. And I think it was someone I knew and they looked right at me, and that did kind of throw me. But I do like that direct. So that's my favorite kind of thing, is having like the direct connection with the audience is my favorite kind of acting.
That's good. What's the funniest thing that ever went wrong on stage?
Oh, well, I lived in California. My parents moved out to California when I was right out of college. And I joined up with this group called Praxis Players, and they did some good stuff, but then they decided to do an original version of Dracula, which was not great. And we did a production in like a really bad part of Hollywood, which was awesome. And we were doing, I think we had like 2 people in the audience, and I was like a maid. I played a maid. So the first part of it that's great is these children are supposed to like kill me. They've been bitten by Dracula, and they're supposed to kill me and bite my neck. But it looks like they're hugging me. So first they kill me, they bite my neck, and then I'm supposed to like die. And I'm on the ground, and there's supposed to be like a crossfade. So I'm on one part of the stage, and there's supposed to be a crossfade so that I can get up and like scoot off stage. But the lights just never faded, and they just stayed up. So I'm just lying there on the ground, and the scene started.
What'd you do?
Well, I didn't know what to do, because I remember thinking, it feels hot. Like I felt like the lights were still on me. I think the scene was like really long, and I thought, I can't stay out here. So I think I just like army crawled off the stage. Like I didn't know what to do, because I thought, I can't stay out here. It's too long. I think I was close enough that I just crawled off the stage. Yeah, that was not a good production. It was like one of the guys had a big ego, and he was like, I'm going to write my own version of Dracula. Mm. So yeah, that was the funniest, because I just was stuck out there.
Larry, do you remember when we did The Emperor's New Clothes?
Yeah.
And so the scenic designer, Rick Young, built this great contraption. What was it, like the Loom? Yeah. And it was something that then went under the seats in the gaddy. Like the gaddy was raised up, and Larry was on it or something, and then at the end of a scene, like he was supposed to go off, and something broke and the Loom wouldn't move off. And I just remember that going like, what do you do? I can't remember what you did, but I just thought it was the funniest thing.
I did want to ask about Elaine's thing. So if she and I are ever in a show with you and one of us dies on stage, the lights go down, do we just stay there? Lights don't go, do we just stay there, or maybe get Jonathan to drag us off in the next scene? Or
I might come up and drag you off myself.
Just get Mark to do it.
Oh, there
that's
you
right.
go.
Elaine, if you couldn't be an actor, what else would you like to do in the theater community?
So I have no ability, like any job I pick doesn't have to help me, but I thought I love costumes.
Right.
That's my favorite thing. So I would design them, someone else would have to sew.
Yeah.
So, but I love the like the costumes I always think are so cool, but you'd have to teach me to sew, or someone would just, I'd have to have an assistant, like, sew this for me. I want to now sew it.
Servants, yeah.
Because I can't sew. But I think a costume designer would be the other thing.
If you could go back in time and talk to the young actress you were when you first started off, what advice would you tell your younger self?
Well, it's something I did, but I would say to people, and it's something I didn't do. So I would say study. Like, don't think just because you got out of college that you just, I know everything now, I don't need to study. Because I did take a lot of classes in New York. Like, I kept taking classes, and I think that's something that we don't continue to do, that I think is a good thing to do. And the one thing I didn't do that I would say is just a good thing, and it's something John Honeycutt said to me when I got here. It was like, audition for everything. Like, don't say, oh, I'm not going to do that, I don't know if I'm right for that. And I didn't audition for a lot of film. I still don't. Like, and that's something I wish I had done when I was younger, is just do more auditioning for film and just try out for more things and put myself out there more, instead of kind of holding back. So I would say dual, don't stop studying when you get out of college. Look for classes, put yourself into classes, and keep studying, and also audition as much as you can. Don't say, oh, I don't know if I'm right for that, so I might just hold back and not do that, or I'm a little hesitant about that one, so I'm not going to audition for that. Yeah, I remember when I got here, I was in a show with John when I first started, and we were just talking at like after like the cast party for the show, and that's what he said to me. He said, audition for everything that you can find. Just audition for everything. Don't even think about, as long as you're, right don't, like, as long as you're somewhat right for it, just audition for everything. So
it's good advice. It's good advice.
What's the first thing you want to do after our life goes back to normal and we get out of the quarantine?
I just want to get everyone that I know in one room and see everyone and hug everyone. And then I want to go see, I want all the theater to come back. Right. So I can see all the shows. And I would like to be in I would love to get back on, be in a show if possible too. But I think
maybe no audience, but
I think seeing people is the biggest thing. I think that's the major thing more than anything. Yeah.
Yes, we agree.
Yeah, it's just I've been doing different Zoom readings and seeing people, and then seeing you guys, and it's great, but then to not see people, and then when you get off the Zoom, you think, oh, but I didn't get to see them in person.
I know. We the staff of RLT, we just hired Heather Strickland to be our managing director, and so we wanted to welcome her in person. And so we met in the amphitheater in the seats area, and we all stood 6 feet apart, which was kind of far, and then welcomed her individually. But it was just so funny to see people be from the waist down, because we're so used to just seeing this. So yeah,
I was wearing gym shorts today for my work meeting, and I kind of did this, and they said, "You don't have pants on?" I said, no, I got gym shorts on.
I know it. Well, Elaine, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. I'm so glad that we were able to do this.
had a great time. Thank you.
Yes, and we look forward to reuniting in person.
Yes, definitely. Thank you both.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's been fun.